David Larson bought a house in a dying village for pennies. 2 hectares of land, a sturdy log cabin, silence, the dream of a retiree. But when he hired workers to clean the old well, they went down and climbed out a minute later, white as death. The foreman dialed the police with shaking hands. The second one vomited in the bushes. At the bottom of the well lay not stones. What was there shocked everyone. 3 months ago, the ad caught his eye by chance. House with plot, Ryazan region, village of Alderbrook, 2 hectares, price 800,000 rubles. 800,000 for a house with land. In Moscow, that's the price of a parking spot. David called without much hope. What kind of ruin could it be? What condition? Sturdy. The grandfather built it 30 years ago. Stands empty but not fallen apart. Why so cheap? The village is dead. 8 old folks in the whole place, no work, no store. Who needs it? David needed it. At 54, he was tired of Moscow, of people, of the hustle. Sold his business, divorced, kids grown. He wanted one thing: silence. He went to see it. Alderbrook was dying beautifully. A hill over the river, birch grove, meadows to the horizon. Houses leaning, overgrown but picturesque. Grayson's house stood on the outskirts. Big, from darkened larch, roof sagged, porch rotted, but clearly built to last. The cellar, the air from Moscow, met him at the gate. Look around yourself, I haven't been here since childhood. David walked through the rooms. Dust, cobwebs, smell of age, but walls solid, stove intact. Potential there. Went out to the yard. Barn, bathhouse, garden, and the well, old stone, heavy wooden cover. David shifted it, peered in. Darkness, deep, no water visible. Dry, said the cellar, dried up long ago, grandfather complained. Can it be restored? Don't know, maybe better to drill a new one. David nodded, pushed the cover back. Bought the house that same day, 800,000 in cash. Didn't even haggle. Moved in May. First month, repairs. Roof, windows, doors. Hired a crew from the district center. Victor the foreman and 2 workers. Worked fast, competently. By June, the house came alive. Walls whitewashed, floors sanded, stove working. David looked at the result and rejoiced. For the first time in years, rejoiced. New life, new beginning. Water left. Drilling a well expensive, long. But the well right there, maybe not completely dry, maybe just silted. Called Victor. Can you clean the well? We'll see, deep, about 10 to 12 meters, we'll manage. When? Tomorrow. Morning turned out sunny. Victor arrived with 2 helpers, unloaded gear. Ropes, buckets, ladder, lanterns. So, said the foreman, Sam will go down, look, then decide what to do. Sam, young, thin, put on helmet with lantern, tied rope. Ready? Ready. Climbed down slowly, carefully. David and Victor held the rope, belayed. Sam's voice muffled from the depths. Deep here, probably 12 meters, bottom close. Then silence. Sam, shouted Victor. What there? Silence. Sam. Voice changed, thin. Pull. Pull me up. Quick. Pulled out in a minute. David stepped back. The guy was white, not pale, white. Lips trembling, eyes glassy. What there? Asked Victor. Sam turned to the bushes and vomited. Victor looked at David, took lantern, leaned over the well, looked long silently, then straightened. Face same white. Owner, he said quietly, call the police. What there? Bones. Human. Many. Police arrived in 2 hours. 2 was 6 in uniform, investigator Young in civvies. Introduced. Alex Petrovich Ingram, investigative committee. Larson, owner of the plot. How long ago bought? 3 months. Used the well? No, today first time opened. Ingram nodded. Approached the well, shined lantern. Looked long. Then pulled phone, stepped aside. Spoke quietly, abruptly. Returned in 5 minutes. Brigade coming from the region, criminalists, experts. We're cordoning the site, you'll have to move out for a while. Where? To neighbors or district center, hotel. David looked at the well, at the police stretching tape. How many there? Ingram paused. Many. By evening, regionals arrived. 3 cars, 10 people. Set up tent, installed floodlights. Worked till dark, then with lights. David sat at Granny Nora's, the only neighbor within half a kilometer. Drank tea, watched the window. There at his house, light, movement, people. What did they find, son? Asked Granny Nora. Bones? Don't know yet. The old woman shook her head. Bad house, I always said. Bad. Why? Grayson lived there, our precinct officer 40 years, he was the boss. And what? Strange man, seemed proper, but... She trailed off, crossed herself. Didn't like him, feared him. Why feared? Who knows, feared, that's all. Morning. First results. Ingram came to Granny Nora's. Asked David to step out. Stood by the fence, spoke quietly. Got them all out. 7 people. 7? Yes, all adult men, preliminarily lay from 30 to 50 years. David silent. 7 people, half a century in the well. Who they? Don't know yet. Expertise will take time, DNA, dentistry, clothes. How they get there? Ingram looked straight, serious. Killed. That's sure. On skulls, traces of blows, blunt object, strong strike. Killed and thrown in the well. Yes. Who? That's the main question. David returned to Granny Nora's house, sat on the bed, stared at the wall. 7 people killed, thrown in the well on his plot. By whom? When? Why? And Maine. Who they? 7 men disappeared without trace. Why no one searched? Why 40 years no one knew? Questions without answers. For now, without answers. Granny Nora sat beside, put hand on shoulder. Bad for you, son? Bad. This is Grayson's doing. David turned. Why think so? Who else? His well, his house, 40 years lived there alone, no family. Was he crazy? Normal. The old woman paused. Too normal. Quiet, polite, never raised voice. But eyes cold as a corpse's. You knew him well? Had to, our precinct officer. Any business to him. Passport to him. Certificate to him. Wife? Kids? No, lived alone. Said. No time, work. Relatives? Sister in the city, died long ago. Nephew, that's who sold you the house. David thought. Precinct officer, loner, 40 years in a remote village. Power, trust, opportunities. And 7 corpses in the well. Evening. New talk with Ingram. Investigator looked tired. Shadows under eyes. Stubble. There's something, he said, from the archives. What? Grayson, Peter Johnson, born 1930. Precinct from 1952 to 1992. Died 92. Heart attack. 40 years in one place. Yes, unprecedented. Usually precincts transferred every 5 to 7 years. But him not touched. Why? Good one. Excellent metrics, no complaints. District quiet. Calm. Why change? But 7 corpses. Exactly.
Ingram pulled cigarette, lit. I checkait d'archives.
Missing person statements in the district over 40 years, 11 people missing, not found. 11? Yes, different years, different circumstances, but all men, all travelers, all disappeared in Alderbrook area. David felt his back chill. You think that's them? Part for sure. Others may be in other places, maybe not found at all. So could be more? Ingram inhaled, exhaled smoke. Could be much more. That night David didn't sleep. Lay on stranger's bed. Stared at ceiling. Grayson, precinct cop, 40 years killing people. How? Why? Why no one noticed? And who these 7? Whose sons, whose brothers, whose husbands? 40 years waited, searched, hoped, and they lay at well bottom, in dark, in cold, forgotten. David closed eyes and saw his mother, alive, young as in childhood. Mom, he whispered, you remember Uncle Nick? Mother smiled, said nothing. And David suddenly understood with horrifying clarity. Uncle Nick, mother's brother, disappeared in 78. On the way home from earnings. Searched, not found. Mother cried till death. He wouldn't abandon, he promised to return. Alderbrook, highway through the village. 78. What if? David sat up in bed, heart pounding, hands shaking. No, can't be. Coincidence. But is it? Morning called Ingram. Need to talk urgently. Something happened? Maybe. I know who might be one of the dead. Pause. Come waiting. Ingram waited in mobile HQ tent at David's house. Sat at folding table, folders, papers, laptop. Look exhausted but eyes attentive. Sit. Tell. David sat opposite. Gathered thoughts. My mother had brother, Nicholas Stephen Larson. Disappeared in 1978. Ingram froze, set pen aside. Continue. Uncle Nick worked odd jobs, built barns, farms, houses. Traveled whole region, sometimes farther. Where exactly in 78? Near Moscow, 3 months building some sanatorium. Then headed home. Where home? In Kasimov, that's 100 kilometers from here. Ingram pulled map, unfolded, traced finger. Alderbrook right on the route between Moscow and Kasimov. Yes. David nodded. I realized at night. He was on this road and didn't make it. Didn't make it. Mother waited till October holidays. He promised money. Gifts. Didn't come. Searched. Mother filed statement. To police, to region. Nothing found. Said. Maybe ran off, maybe new family. But she didn't believe, never. David fell silent. Swallowed lump in throat. Said. Nick wouldn't abandon. He gave word to return. Till death believed something bad happened. Ingram wrote fast, short. When your mother died. In 2015, 9 years ago. So never knew. Never knew. Investigator opened laptop. Typed long. Focused. Larson, Nicholas Stephen, 1946 birth. Kasimov District. Statement on disappearance November 1978. Found in missing persons database. Ingram turned screen. This him? Photo black and white, blurry, but David recognized. Uncle Nick, young, smiling, same as photo at mother's in cupboard. He? Sure. Mother had same photo I looked often as kid. Ingram nodded, closed laptop. Need to check DNA. Your sample, compare with remains. Your nephew, relation will establish. How long? Week 2 due in region. David silent. Looked at table, at folders, at paper. Uncle Nick, 46 years in well. 50 meters from where David now lives. Chance or fate? Evening Granny Nora told. Sat in kitchen, drank tea. Old woman spoke, David listened. Grayson came in 52, young after army. Appointed precinct instead of old Simon who died. Where from? From near Ryazan or near Tula, don't remember, long ago. What was he at first? Normal, strict but fair. Brought order, yes. Chased moonshiners, reined in hooligans. Then? Granny Nora fell silent, stared at cup. Then changed. Not right away, gradually. Closed off, became unsociable. No friends, no visits. When start? In 60s, I think. After that, she cut off. After what? There was bad story. Tell. Old woman paused, then spoke quietly, slowly. In 63, one driver passed through village, young, in truck. Broke down at edge, engine stalled. And Grayson invited him to stay. Fix in morning. Guy agreed. Morning left, so Grayson said. Really? Don't know. Granny Nora shook head. But his truck I saw a month later in Grayson's barn. Disassembled. You report to anyone? Grayson is police. Who complained to? District. Region? Afraid. Grayson had connections, respected, veteran. Who believe old woman? David understood. Soviet time, remote village, precinct czar and God. Word against his nothing. You think that driver? Think so. Old woman crossed. First one. Then several times saw people go to him, stay, fix car. Morning left, so he said. Really? Really don't know. But their cars I saw in barn, disassembled. After talk, David went to investigator. Ingram still working despite late hour. There's witness, said David. Granny Nora. Neighbor. What she know? David retold. About driver, cars in barn, suspicions. Ingram listened silently, seriously. Need to question officially. She's old, 87. All the more need to hurry. Next day, questioning. Granny Nora said same as to David. About driver, cars, fear. Ingram recorded word for word. Remember how many times saw strangers' cars in Grayson's barn? 5, 6, maybe more over all years. What years? 60s, 70s, then don't know, I didn't go there, afraid. Afraid. Old woman fell silent. He looked sometimes, when thought I not see, cold, like it pray. He threaten you? No, never. But I understood if say something. She didn't finish. You know anything about well? No, well in yard, behind fence, I didn't peek. But you guessed Grayson hiding something? Granny Nora silent long. Guessed. 40 years guessed but afraid to say. Even now afraid, though he dead. Expertise results came in 10 days. Ingram called early morning. There's match. Uncle Nick? Yes, Larson Nicholas Stephen, one of the 7. David sat silent, phone in hand, hot, heavy. Found after 46 years. Found. What now? Come, need identification. Formal but need. In morgue. Cold, white tile, chemical smell. Metal tables covered with sheets. Expert, elderly woman in coat, wheeled out gurney. Ready? David nodded. She folded back sheet. Skull, bones, remnants of rotted, dirty clothes. Nothing personal, nothing recognizable. Found things with him, said expert. Look on next table. Plastic bags, inside items. Mechanical watch Victory, glass cracked, hand stopped. Folding knife with wooden handle. And wedding ring, gold, with engraving. David took bag with ring held to eyes. NSL and TVL 1970. Nicholas Stephen Larson and Tatiana Vladimir Larson. Wedding 1970. This him, said David. Definitely him. After morgue. Long sat in car. Couldn't drive. Hands shaking. Eyes blurry. Uncle Nick. Cheerful. Kind. Always brought candies. Rode me on shoulders. Davy, grow up. Be like me, builder. He was 32 when killed. Wife, son waited whole life, didn't wait. And he lay in stinking well 46 years. David hit steering wheel once, twice, thrice. Bastard, he yelled into void. Bastard, scum. Grayson dead. Buried with honors, unreachable for trial, for revenge. But not for memory. Not for truth. Evening talk with Ingram. Sat by tent on crates. Drank coffee from thermos. Identified 2 more, said investigator. From missing databases. Who? Simmons Victor John, 1951 birth. Disappeared 75. Long hauler. Carried cargo to Ryazan. And second, Kingsley Andrew Peter, 1944 birth. Disappeared 82. Procurer. Traveled villages buying honey and hides. Travelers too. Yes, all travelers. Rode highway through Alderbrook and didn't make it. Didn't make it. David silent. Looked at house, his house. Dark. Empty. Why? He asked. Why he do it? Robbery most likely. Ingram inhaled cigarette. Long hauler carried payroll for drivers. Procure cash for buys. Your uncle money from job. So for money. For money and cars. We checked. Grayson moonlighted reselling parts. Rare details, deficit in Soviet time, expensive. And people just obstacle, witnesses. Dead witnesses don't talk. Scheme built gradually. Ingram told as investigation went. David listened, remembered. Grayson worked simple, effective. Alderbrook on highway, many passers, especially warm season. Drivers, traders, odd jobbers. Grayson met at entrance. Document check, routine. Talked, found out who, where from, to. If person carried value and alone, invited to stay. Reasons varied. Road washed out, bridge repair, getting dark. People agreed. Cop so safe. House warm, dinner hearty. Why not? Night, Grayson killed quietly, no noise. Blow to head, done. Body to well, car to barn for parts. Money, things to self. Morning as if nothing. Guest left, nothing happened. If asked. Yes, stayed, left morning where, didn't say. Who check? Who doubt precinct's word? Why not caught? asked David. How catch? Ingram spread hands. Victims from different districts, different regions. Disappeared different times. No connection. But statements were. 11 in our district, how many in others? Who compared? No one. Soviet time, no computers, databases, paper in different archives. Person missing in Moscow, found in Ryazan. Who link? Grayson himself investigated. Statement came to district, sent to him. Check precinct, maybe saw something. And he checked. Wrote report. Questioned residents. No one saw, no traces found. Covered himself 40 years. Covered himself. That night David stood by well. Police gone, cordon removed. Only yellow tape fluttering in wind. While black pit in ground. Deep, scary. 40 years grave for 7, maybe more. David looked down into dark. Tried to imagine how it was. Uncle Nick, tired after 3 months' work, heading home to wife, to son. Money in pocket, gifts in bag. Stops in village, late, darkening.
Cop pulita, balkuming.
Stay good man, go morning. Dinner, talks, maybe drank shots. Then sleep. And blow sudden, terrible. Darkness. Then well cold, wet. And 46 years silence. Forgive, Uncle Nick, whispered David. Forgive not found sooner. Forgive mom not knew. Wind stirred grass. Stars twinkled indifferent. Distant. I'll find all he killed. Bury properly. Promise quiet. Firm. Grayson dead. Can't punish. But can other. Return names to nameless. Peace to unburied. That's not revenge. That's justice. The only left. Morning called Uncle Nick's son. Cousin Samuel, 60. Lives in Kasimov. Not seen 20 years. Sam, it's David Larson. Davy? Voice surprised. How many years? You how? Fine but calling to share. What happened? David paused. How say, how explain? Sam, I found your father. Silence long, heavy. What? Found Uncle Nick. After 46 years. Found. Where? In Ryazan region, in village where I bought house. Alive? No. David closed eyes. No, Sam. Dead. Killed in 78 on way home. Silence, then sob quiet, choked. How? Come tell all. And need bury properly. Samuel came 2 days later. Old Logan, dusty, tired as owner. 60, gray, hunched, eyes red, unslept. David met at gate. Hugged silent, tight. Where he? Asked Samuel. In morgue in district center. Take you. First talk. You need know all. Sat on Granny Nora's porch. David told from start. House by well find, Grayson scheme victims. Samuel listened silent. Still. Only jaw muscles moved. 46 years, he said when David finished. Father lay in pit we thought abandoned. Not all thought. Mother not. And I. Samuel fell silent. I angry at him whole life. Thought betrayed us. Left for other woman. You child. I 14, not child. He rubbed face with hands. Mother died waiting him every day, went to window. Maybe today return. Till last day waited. Your mother knew truth by heart. Knew. And I know. Idiot. In morgue together. Samuel Long looked at remains. At ring with engraving. At victory watch he once gave father for birthday. This hymn said hoarsely. That. Can take for burial? When documents done, week maybe. Samuel nodded. Put hand on plastic bag where ring lay. Forgive, Dad. Forgive not believe. Familiar words. How many times David heard from different people at different graves. One story for all. Disappeared. Not returned. Accused. But truth scarier. Meanwhile investigation continued. Ingram worked methodically, persistently. Raised archives, cross-checked databases, sought matches. By end second week, identified 3 more. 5 in total. 5th, Jordan Michael Frederick, 1938 birth. Disappeared 71. Collective farmer from neighboring district. Rode from market after selling piglets. 6th, Kramer Basil Andrew, 1949 birth, disappeared 80, mechanic, returned from retraining courses. 7th. Lucas Peter Sergey, 1955 birth, disappeared 85, expediter, carried documents to regional center. 7. 7 men from different places, different jobs, united by one. All rode through Alderbrook, all with money or valuable cargo. All disappeared without trace. How you find them? Asked David. By clothes, by things. Ingram flipped folder. Each had something preserved. Documents, watches, rings. Matched descriptions from missing statements. And relatives? Searching. Hard, 40-50 years passed, many died, others moved. But found some. Found 3 for sure, others still. David looked at list. 7 names, 7 fates. Jordan rode from market, sold piglets, carried money to family. Wife for kids. Kramer returned from courses, young 31. Fiancé waited, didn't wait. Lucas carried important urgent documents, bosses scolded, searched, then forgot. Forgot all for 40 years. Relatives came one by one. First, Jordan's daughter, Nina Mikhailovna, 75, from Ryazan, by bus. Small, withered, eyes teary, hands shaking. Daddy? She asked. True. Daddy? True, confirmed Ingram. Expertise confirmed. I small, 5 years when he disappeared. Remember vaguely. Big kind brought candies, cocks on sticks. Sorry. Mom cried whole life, said killed him. Felt it. They not believe, called fool. Now all know. Now yes. After 53 years. Second. Kramer's son, Andrew Vasilievich, 44. Born month after father's disappearance. Never saw him. Mother told, he said, what fun, hard-working. Plans. Build house, buy car. All for us. You knew he missing? Knew. Mother believed till last he'd return. Grandma said. Ran off dog, found new woman. But he not run off. Not run off. Andrew clenched fists. Killed him, scum. For money, for car. Grayson dead, can't punish. No. But at least grave now, bring flowers, have wear. Third. Lucas's widow, Maria Petrovna, 82, from nursing home, with aid. Sat in chair, small, dried up, but eyes alive, clear. I knew, she said. Always knew. Pete not abandon. He loved me strong, loved. You waited him? Waited 15 years. Then understood not return. But not because abandon, because can't. Why think so? Felt. Old woman put hand on heart. Connection between us broke that night. Woke in cold sweat, understood Pete no more. You file with police? Filed. No use. Said. Wait, maybe show up. Not show up. Very sorry. No need sorry. Rejoice need. Found finally. Bury properly, lay beside when my time. David listened each story, sat with relatives, talked. Not because must, because wanted. 7 families, 7 stories of pain, waiting, disappointment. Jordan struggled after breadwinner gone. For kids, single mom survived as could. Kramer's fell apart. Fiancé waited 3 years, married another, raised son alone. Lucas's held. Maria not remarry, waited whole life, believed against all. And Larson's, his own family. Aunt Tanya died of cancer, not waiting. Samuel grew without father, bitter, distrustful. Mother searched brother till death, wrote letters called, believed he alive somewhere. Not alive. In well 46 years. Why me? Asked David once. He and Ingram sat by tent, evening silence. Incense? Why I bought this house. Of 1,000 options, this one. Of million people, me. Chance. Don't believe. David shook head. Too many coincidences. My uncle in this well, and I buy exactly this house after 46 years. You believe in fate? Not before. Now don't know. Ingram silent, looked at stars. Maybe he called you. Your uncle. From there. You serious? No, of course. Investigator smirked. But nice version. David no answer, looked at well. Dark pit in ground. Called. Maybe dead can call. Quietly, unheard. Through dreams, through chances. Or just coincidence. Who knows? After 3 weeks, found last relatives. Simmons family, long hauler. Brother Ivan, 72, lives in Voronezh. Worked whole life at factory.
Beak.
He asked again on phone. My brother? Yes, Victor John Simmons, disappeared 75. Found. Found in Ryazan region. Long silence, then quietly. We thought he went to Siberia for long ruble. No letters, offended. Forgot. He not go. Killed him. Who? Local precinct. Robbed travelers. Bastard. Voice hoarse. Horse. Bastard. Vic good, kind. For what? For money, for truck. Coming when burial. Coming. Kingsley family, procurer. Harder. Wife died 90s. Kids scattered. Lost touch. But grandson found. Dennis, 35. Programmer from Moscow. Grandpa? Surprised he. I thought he abandoned grandma. Not abandon. What happened? David explained short, dry.
Facts no emotions.
Dennis silent long. Damn, he said finally. Sorry, just damn. Whole life thought grandpa jerk, but he victim. Come to burial?
Come? Definitely.
By month end, all gathered. 7 families. Children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Those who remembered and those who knew only from stories. Gathered in Alderbrook at David's house. Sat in yard at long table, talked about dead, about life, about justice. Nina Mikhailovna, Jordan's daughter, cried. Daddy loved candies, didn't eat himself. Gave to us. Sweeter for you.
Andrew Kramer, mécaniques son, clenched fist.
Father wanted me engineer. Study, son, work head not hands. I became. For him became. Maria Petrovna, Lucas's widow, smiled through tears. Pete sang songs beautiful, voice velvet. I still hear in dreams, comes, sings. Samuel, David's cousin, silent, looked at well, closed, boarded. Dad fisherman, he said finally. Best in district. Promise teach me. Didn't have time. Evening David stood by well alone in dark. Found all, he said quietly. 7 with families introduced. Now bury properly. Wind stirred grass, moon shone pale, cold. You content? Uncle Nick? Content what found. Silence, only crickets chirp, owl hoot somewhere. Mom would rejoice, knew you not abandon, that to last home road. David put hand on well edge. Stones cold, rough. Soon bury all together. Lay nearby not lonely. Stood another minute, then left, no look back. Next day meeting with Ingram. What with Grayson? Asked David. Incense? He buried with honors, grave, monument. And? Can't leave. Murderer next to normal people. Wrong. Ingram thought. Exhume can't, no grounds. And monument relative's decision. Nephew heir he can remove, transfer. He in Moscow doesn't care. Then administration, if prove guilt, can decide.
Prove?
Factually yes. Legally harder. Grayson dead, no one to judge. But recognize guilty posthumously possible if gather enough evidence. Evidence gathered another month. David helped. Sought witnesses, documents, traces. Granny Nora recalled more cases. Cars in barn, strangers at Grayson's. Found former tractor driver. Simon Kuzmin, 80, worked collective, lived near Grayson. Saw, he said, night in 70s Grayson dragged something to well, big, heavy, in sack. Why not report? The police, I who? Collective worker. Who believe? But you understood what? Guessed. But afraid. Grayson gun, power. Touch, no one protect. Found documents in archives. Grayson's reports on missing checks. Neat, detailed.
Questioned witnesses, no traces.
Wrote himself, closed himself. 40 years. Found records in savings bank. Grayson deposited money regularly. Small sums but often. More than precinct salary. Where money? Asked Ingram. Bonuses, side jobs, so he said, answered former cashier. We not check, cop. Found parts in Grayson's barn, pile junk. Details from different cars, different years. Zills, Gazes, Moskviches. Those victims' cars. Enough? Asked David. For posthumous recognition, yes. Ingram closed folder. Sending to court. When? Next week. Decision another month about. And burials cannot wait. Bodies release, bury. David nodded. Finally. After 2 months, finally. 7 get graves. Families get peace. And Grayson gets truth. Posthumous, but truth. Murderer, not hero. Murderer. Let all know. Buried in September. Day clear, warm, Indian summer. Golden leaves. Blue sky. Beautiful to pain. Cemetery on hill beyond village, old. Overgrown. Crosses leaning. Fences rusty. But space found. 7 graves in row at edge by birches. People came many. Relatives, journalists, just folks from district, from region. Even governor came. Give speech, stand by coffins. 7 coffins closed. Identical. Inside what left of 7 men. Bones, rotted clothes, personal things. 40-50 years in well, now in earth as proper. Young priest from district center read prayer. Rest, Lord, souls of thy servants. Nicholas, Victor, Michael, Basil, Andrew, Peter. 7 names, 7 fates. David stood by Uncle Nick's grave, beside Samuel cousin, both in black, with flowers. Farewell, Dad, whispered Samuel. Forgive not believe. Forgive angry. David put hand on his shoulder, squeezed tight. Silent. No words needed, no need. At each grave own people. Nina Mikhailovna, Jordan's daughter, on knees, stroked earth. Daddy, she whispered. Dear Daddy, found you finally, found. Beside her children, grandchildren. 3 generations at one grave. Andrew Kramer, mechanic's son, stood straight. No cry, only lips pressed, jaws stone. I became engineer, Dad, he said quietly. As you wanted. For you became. Maria Petrovna, Lucas's widow, sat in chair, couldn't stand. Aid held umbrella from sun. Petey, said old woman. Soon see. Wait a bit, soon. Governor spoke last. Step to mic, solid, gray, voice set. Official. Today we farewell 7 our countrymen. 7 men whose lives cut tragically, unfairly. 40-50 years they lay nameless, forgotten. Their families not know truth. Killer lived unpunished. But truth came out thanks to chance, thanks to caring people, thanks to those not stop, not wave off. Let this story lesson for us all. Truth sooner or later comes out. No matter how scary. Fell silent, bowed low, deep. People applauded quiet, restrained. Not from joy, from respect. After ceremony, wake in village club, old, leaning. Tables, food, vodka. As proper, Russian custom. Sat all together. 7 families become one. United by common woe, common memory. For our fathers, raised glass Samuel. For those waited and not waited. For fathers. Repeated all, drank silent, no clink. Then spoke about dead, about life, about how further. Need monument, said Nina Mikhailovna. Common for all 7. Agree, nodded Andrew Kramer. So remember, so know what here was. Where set? Asked David. By well, suggested Samuel. Place where found. They're right. That's my land, I not against. Then decided. Discussed long, detailed. What monument, what inscription, how much cost. Chipped in all together, who how much could. David added from self-covered shortage. In month install, he said. For find anniversary. Evening left for. David, Samuel, Andrew Kramer, Dennis Kingsley grandson procurer. Sat on porch, drank vodka. Strange, said Dennis. We strangers but connected stronger than kin. Not strangers, objected Samuel. Brothers in misfortune. Brothers. Agree, said Andrew. Our fathers lay together 40 years. Now we. What now? Will do? Asked David. Live? Shrugged Dennis. What else? Differently live, added Andrew. Knowing truth. That's important. Why? Because all fell into place. Father not abandon, not betray. Died honest on way home. To us rode. And mine nodded Samuel. To us rode, with money, with gifts. Dreamed see. Now at least grave, said Dennis. Bring flowers, stand. Before nowhere. That night David walked plot. House dark, empty. Well closed, boarded. Soon here monument. Strange place. Cursed or sanctified. 40 years grave, now memory place. David stopped by well, put hand on boards. Gone Uncle Nick. All 7 gone. Now peace. Silence, wind, birds. I'll stay here. Live in this house. Not afraid now. Not afraid. Strange decision maybe, but right. Here his place. Here found uncle. Here end life. If fate exists, this it. 2 weeks later, court decision. Ingram called morning, excited. Recognized Grayson guilty posthumously. Yes. Posthumous in 7 murders for robbery. What mean? Officially he murderer. Not hero, not veteran. Murderer. And grave? Administration decision now. Can take. David hung up, sat long still. Recognized. After 30 years death. Recognized. Justice partial, incomplete, but better than nothing. Administration decided quick. Exhumed Grayson. Reburied at cemetery edge. No monument. Just mound, just plaque. Grayson P.J. 1930–1992. Convicted posthumous. No ranks, no honors. As criminal. Not as hero. Old monument demolished. Place empty. Grass, earth. Granny Nora crossed when learned. Thank God. Finally justice. 40 years waited. You glad? Glad. Old woman shook head. No, rejoice nothing. 7 died. Families suffered. Not return. Then what? Peace now. Peace. Truth out can die. Monument to 7 installed in October. Granite slab high, strict. 7 names, gold letters. An inscription below. Victims of crimes by Grayson P.J. 1963–1985. Remember, mourn. Place by former well. Well itself filled. Leveled with earth. Only monument left. At opening came all. 7 families, journalists, officials. Ingram too in civvies. End work, he said to David. Hardest case in my practice. Most important? Yes, most important. When truth after half-century. When justice, even some. Ceremony short, strict. Priest consecrated monument, read prayer. Relatives laid flowers, each family to own name. David last laid bouquet to Uncle Nick's name. Larson Nicholas Stephen 1946–1978. 32 years, whole life ahead. Wife, son, plans. All cut one night in this yard. Farewell, Uncle Nick, whispered David. Now real peace. After ceremony, wake again. But different. Not mournful, light. With talks, with smiles. For memory, raised glass Samuel. For those love. For memory, repeated all. And for those found, added Nina Mikhailovna. For David. If not him, our fathers lay in well another 50 years. I by chance, objected David. By chance bought house, by chance clean well, by chance not run when found. Old woman shook head. Many chances. Too many. This fate, said Andrew Kramer. I now believe fate. To evening dispersed. David left alone. Sat on porch, looked at monument. White granite in moonlight. 7 names, 7 fates. Now this his place, his house, his plot, his memory. Strange life, strange turns. Half year ago he lone retiree, no goal, no sense. Bought house for silence. Found 7 dead. And real sense, deep. Now reason live. What guard? Called Marina, Jordan's daughter. David wanted thank. For what? For all. For monument, for ceremony. For not abandon. Couldn't abandon. My uncle lay there. Could. Many would sell house, leave. You stayed. Here my place. I understand.
Marina paused.
We decided come every year on anniversary. All families together. Be glad. Thanks for all. Thanks. Others called too. Samuel every week, shared news, asked about life. How you there alone? Not scary? Not scary. Used to. Summer come with grandkids, show where grandpa lay. Come, space enough. Andrew Kramer rarer but called businesslike, restrained. David, documents on monument filed. Filed all official. Good. If what call help. Dennis Kingsley wrote in Messenger, young, modern. David, how things? Send photo monument, show parents. David answered all. Kept connection. 7 families became one. Strange, scattered country but real. Winter came journalists from Moscow, Federal Channel. Shot documentary about Grayson case. Tell how found well. David told nth time. House by workers' bones. What felt? Horror. Then anger. Then resolve. Resolve find truth, learn who they bury properly. And you found? Found all 7 met families. Now like kin. Journalist young, pretty, looked with respect. You hero. No. Just in right place, right time. That's fate. Maybe. Now believe. Film out spring, shown Central Channel prime time. The Well. Story of one crime. Called Strangers thanked asked. I 2 relative missing in 70s, maybe there. Contact investigative committee. Case open, searching. Thanks, will search. Stories similar, scary. Across country people missing without trace. Maybe find someday. Find. Truth always out, sooner or later. To anniversary gathered again. September, exactly year from burial. 7 families at monument. Aged changed but came all to one. For our fathers, raised glass Samuel. For those remember. For fathers, repeated all. And for David, added Maria Petrovna, Lucas' widow. Who found, who not abandon. For David, drank friendly, warm. David looked at them, at faces lit by sun. His family, new unexpected. Found in well not only dead. Living. Past year. David lived same house, same plot. Settled, house transformed. New roof, fresh whitewash, sturdy porch. Not recognized that ruin bought 2 years ago. Plot 2 changed. Garden, greenhouse, henhouse. Real farm as dream. Monument white granite by filled well. 7 names, 7 fates. Every morning David out to porch, looked at monument, greeted mentally. Good morning, guys. How slept? Strange habit but calming. Granny Nora died winter, quiet in sleep. 88. Age. David found her morning when brought milk. Lay calm, peaceful as finally let go. Buried modest. No relatives left, no friends. Only David and few old folks from nearby villages. Good woman, said one. Kind. Whole life alone. Husband killed in war, no kids. She afraid, said David. Grayson afraid. Whole life. All afraid. Time such. Now not afraid. Finally, after Granny Nora's death, David left alone. Last resident Alderbrook. 8 houses empty, boarded. Only his alive. Strange feeling. Whole village and he one. But not scary, not lonely. Came often. Families of dead, journalists, just people. Who mourn, who look, who talk. House became like museum, unofficial. Folk. People came learn story, stand at monument. David told each, not tired. His mission. Spring shooting crew from Moscow made sequel. The Well 2 years later. How your life changed. Completely. Before alone, now big family. Strange but family. You regret bought this house? No, not minute. Even knowing what happened here. Even knowing. David paused. No, before this house place of death. Grayson killed here, hid. 40 years evil lived in these walls. And now? Now memory place. People come, remember, cry. House cleansed, became other. You believe such things? Now believe. Before no, but after all happened. Summer news. Ingram called, excited, unlike self. David found another. Who? 8th. In forest, 3 kilometers from village. Mushroom pickers stumbled. Who he? Don't know yet. Skeleton, clothes remnants, but seems same era, 70s, 80s. Grayson? Likely. Place fitting. Remote? Abandoned. Ideal for burial. David came. Place really remote. Ravine in forest. Overgrown weeds. Police already worked, cordoned. Pit shallow, meter some. Bottom bones white. Clean. Time did its. Man said expert. 30-40 years. Blow traces on skull. Same handwriting. Grayson likely. Place in his zone, method same. Ingram approached David. 3 more, remember? From missing list in Alderbrook district. Remember. Now 2. This likely from that list. Find others? Try. Now hook. Identity established in month. Gordon Ivan Andrew, 1941 birth. Disappeared 73. Driver. Carried cargo to Ryazan. Family found. Daughter Tatiana, 65. Lives in Saratov. Called David, not police. You that one who found first? Yes. Anyway, thanks. For what? For starting. If not you, no one search. Dad lay in forest another 50 years. Come to burial?
Come? Definiteli.
Buried in September, beside 7.
Ats grave.
Still one name on monument. Families came all. Old and new. Tatiana with husband, with kids. Welcome, said Marina Jordan. To our club. Scary club. Scary but warm. We here own. Stood at monument together. 9 families now. 9 stories. 3 more, said David. Somewhere there wait. Find hope. Someday find. Autumn warm. David worked garden. Last harvest before winter. Potatoes, carrots, cabbage. Thought about past, about future. 3 years passed since house buy. 3 years since saw Ed. Whole life changed. Completely, irrevocably. Was lone retiree, no goal, no sense. Waited death honestly. Now guardian of memory, of truth, of justice. Strange role but important. Evening sat on porch, looked at sunset. Monument pink in rays, warm. Well guys? Said quietly. 5 years coped. Silence, wind, birds. Aging. Another 5-10 years and all. But not scary. Someone continue. Dimka good guy. Write book, tell story. People learn, remember. And I to you come. They're up. Meet finally. You tell how was I how found. Smiled at thoughts. Strange talk with dead but habitual, normal. They listen. David believed. Night dreamed Uncle Nick, young. Smiling as in photo at mother's in cupboard. Thanks, Davy, he said. For all. No need, Uncle Nick. You my. Now peace. Finally peace.
Glel.
You deserve. And you deserve. When time come, we meet. Woke with wet eyes but happy. Peace for all. Peace main. Morning out to monument. Laid fresh flowers from garden. Stood silent. 10 names. 10 fates. 10 families become one. Good morning, guys, said David. New day, new life. Returned, went to house. Chores waited. Garden, chickens, farm. Life went on. And memory stayed here in this place, forever. And so ends the story of David Larson, the man who bought a house in a dying village and found 7 dead in the well. 10 men died on the road home. For 40 to 50 years, their families did not know the truth. The killer lived unpunished and died with honors. But the truth came out thanks to chance, thanks to indifference, thanks to the one who did not pass by. This story is a reminder that the truth always comes out, that memory is more important than oblivion, that ordinary people can change the world. No feats needed, no medals, just don't pass by, just don't be silent. Like the story? Put a like, subscribe to the channel, write in the comments from which city you are and how old you are. Do you believe in fate? Are there stories in your family when the truth came out after many years? Ahead are new stories, even more exciting, even more unexpected. Don't miss.